Hi there and welcome back to Let's Play Kingpin, Life of Crime. This is Depressing Drawers and we join our two happy... What's happening with my controls here? I seem to have... Oh, I was stuck in the geometry, everyone. Well, that's a brilliant start for the episode. But never mind, I'm joined with my two faithful chums, my two homeless vagabonds that I've been hanging around here for a little while. But now it is time to get our asses back down the sewers where we belong, and not before, however, we electrocute ourselves. Well, not electrocute, we receive an electric shock from the electric fence, and we'll press this valve and we'll go into the sewers, because God knows I've spent a lot of time away from sewers and I've missed them. I missed them, everyone, and I'm just desperate to get back down with the piss and the turds, as it were. So we find ourselves back on the way to Radio City, and I feel like that's pretty an exciting place to be going, to be honest with you, even though the radio as it is in a bit of a dire state, especially if you listen to the radio or have done recently. That way is blocked, so we won't be going there just yet, but keep your hands and fingers crossed, and hopefully we will be there soon. And we have our arch nemesis, the rat, so we'll just shoot him in his ratty face right quick and find a suitable gun. Yes, that one will do, and see if we can carry on. What's behind door number 1? It seems to be some goodies and some bits and pieces. So let's pick all this gear up, all this truck, as we like to say locally in my area of the world, and see if we can find some bad guys to shoot in the face. Any around here at all? I have to be a little bit careful because the guys around here, they are as aggressive as they ever are in this game. Unfortunately, you know, they shoot you on sight for no particular reason. And what do we have here? We have what appears to be a crashed locomotive, and that will be no doubt caused by the derailments that we have, the titular derailment from this episode. So what do we have to do here? Well, we have to uncouple this car, but I just want to show you before I do so a peculiar glitch. I'm going to see if I can replicate it here now. So what we do to try and replicate this glitch is to go around the other side of the cart, and you obviously see another valve we have to turn. But what happens if you approach it from the wrong side, which is this side? Well, let's just have a quick look. Yes, we get caught inside the geometry and crushed to death as the rail car goes on its merry way down, clearing the road. So let's just quickly reload again. And yes, so whatever you do, if you're playing this game, do not do that. So what we'll do instead is do it from the right way and follow the train car along its merry destination to Crashville, which is this way. Excellent, and along it goes, and there are going to be some bad guys to shoot in the face presently. And you probably hear their voices then. So here they are. Hello, mate. And yes, we just have to make sure that we do not die at this juncture, because that would be a bit of a waste. But never mind. The only waste of human life is clearly our foes that we have dispatched rather readily. And look, what do we have here? But we do have a rat. So we'll just try and take him out. Yes, well done. And a spare valve. So we'll pick that up, and jobs are good, and we can be on our way through to Radio City. And just like, I just don't know why it's called Radio City. It just seems like a really odd name, you know. You know, like it's obviously excuse me, it's obviously like a city renowned for its radio. I just put a valve handle on there and turned it in case you missed it. And yes, we can. It's just like Radio City. So you're famous for making radios, for transmitting radio waves. I just don't know. You know, it's just a really peculiar name. But anyway, so we have a level transition there, and we carry along our little way down the sewers, along with the corpses and the blood. And let's see what awaits us out here. Yes, it is something of a viaduct. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly, but that is the term I'm going to use nevertheless. So let's go up this pretty yellow ladder and see what fate awaits us in the later reaches of the level. What's this? This looks to be a train track, and hello, it's a train. Well, that's rather worrying, isn't it? Let's try our darndest not to get crushed by the train. Although it's not going very pacey, but I can probably imagine that you could see that could be quite threatening, especially if you just truck on down the track and yes, get crushed of it, because it will crush the shit of you. And let's see what we can find down this dark tunnel. Will there be a light at the end of the tunnel? Well, there's certainly lights on the side of the tunnel, and also a fat man to dispatch. So we will dispatch him. Oh, hello, mate. Yes, that was a poor choice to reload my weapon at that point, but never mind. And, you know, just hindsight is always 20/20, you know, and we just have to be a little bit careful here not to get crushed by any oncoming trains, because the train will travel around in a circular motion with the express... whoops. Keep hitting that TeamSpeak button. I don't know quite why they left that in the main single player, but never mind. It just gives you the opportunity to say things like this. And there we go. You know, we can join in finally with the NPCs of their dirty, gross mouths that they keep spouting off at us, but never mind. So yes, the train in this area actually loops around this entire area, but you can't get past these panels, and if you do, you will get crushed by the train. And in an interesting and curious part of level design, yes, you actually have to sort of, it's almost like you're going places that you shouldn't be, but you actually, this is the way you have to go. You have to jump over here, and we can just admire the lovely locomotive as it goes by here, yeah, and you actually jump down here. And you might in other games do this and then just get completely stuck because, you know, this wasn't an intended path for you to take in the game. But no, in Kingpin they like to do things differently, and yes, you have to go in the most obscure and I don't know, like, I just don't know how you're supposed to figure that out in the normal course of play, and certainly nowadays you'd never see that sort of level design in a game, for better or worse. I don't know, maybe that's a bad thing, it just depends on how you feel of obscure level design. So, another rat to shoot with a gun, there we go, job's a titular good one. And yes, here's a rather simple puzzle here, you might have already worked it out. Yes, we had to push a crate here in order to be able to climb up this ladder, so let's get right on that little bit, and there we go, that'll do. But before we do that, let's go through this door, and yes, we have returned back to the early part of the level, and I'm just gonna have a quick check here. No, I think we're good, so let's go in this door and jump up a ladder. So here we go, one, oh dear, no, I did that on a rather poor fashion. Let's try again. No, let's try again. Yes, there we go. Oh, and someone's upset with us, so we will just avoid them for the moment and shoot another rat. There we go. And some lovely health. Well, the game certainly does know what we need at the moment, and there's a Tommy gun there, but I do not think that we need too much more Tommy ammo, but we do want more ammo for the heavy machine gun, which is what we are wielding at the moment. This opens a door somewhere, probably, and let's carry on. I can hear the trainer coming. I'm coming round again. So we'll just wait here quietly and patiently for the train to pass, shall we? There we go. Wasn't so bad, was it? Wasn't so bad. And we find that, yes, this little loop we've made has opened up these gates for us to transverse through. Bing, bing! We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen, and more people to shoot. But some guy with a heavy machine gun, I do not like it. So he gets some lead for his troubles. And a man. Another man to shoot. And I realise that some people might be of the opinion that this is getting slightly repetitive, and I don't necessarily disagree, you know, it's just one of those things, unfortunately. It's just one of those sorts of games. This game was made at a point where I feel like the FPS was probably in a sort of transitional point in its life, and this is the remains of what we used to see, really. So we've got some more useless flamethrower ammo, some more ammo for the heavy machine gun, happy with that, and some more bazooka rounds. And you probably will not see me use the bazooka all that often, because despite its terrifying and fear-awe-inspiring name, it's not ever so useful, but this heavy machine gun is. So let's continue on using that, shall we? And the train is coming around again, so let's just see what's in this door. Not a lot. So once again, let's patiently watch the train pass by.
I hear the train a-coming, it's rolling around a bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when.
And it's almost got like a bit of a relaxing feel towards it, hasn't it? You know, just watching the trains go by. You could always take up a bit of train spotting, if indeed the trains did actually resemble any real life trains. I don't know a lot about trains, but I feel like they probably don't resemble trains in reality. Maybe someone will tell me differently, I don't know. These people are upset because we've come across their treasure trove, so we'll just dispatch them as per usual. If I can in fact aim at them, or indeed a direction towards their position. You know, just one of those things, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. So let's just gather up all the goodies around here and not destroying this box, because that will stop you from getting the extra goodies on top of here. So let's make a quick leap. And I completely missed, although I did think I picked up the duffel bag. I think, and I'm not sure about this, so you'll apologise for my ignorance, but I think the duffel bag again expands our potential inventory, and it's quite difficult to pull out there. So can we pull these boxes? Yes, we can. So beware in this game of destroying all the destroyable boxes, because some of them are intended for stand-uponable boxes, not destructible boxes. And I really want this money. Please give me this money. There we go, and $100 that we completely do not need, but I ultimately want, so that's what I will have, I'm afraid. You know, it's just, I'm running the show here, and we are going to do things my way or the highway. Take out another rat. They are quickly becoming the highest body count in this game. Not people, but rats, and I don't know at this point if that's either a good thing or a bad thing. Here's a bizarre change choice, because we get to pick up another crowbar. I don't quite know where we're stashing all these crowbars at this point on our person, but that is an old and hackneyed joke, so I will consider it no further. And what's through this door? We seem to be going through a lot of doors, don't we? It just seems rather curious at this point in the game. And where are we? We're back at this point, so let's just carry on and see what we can see. Oh, and we've got some more upset people, and one of them's got a grenade launcher, although they are fairly unthreatening. They are not as threatening as, say, a flamethrower guy, because they cannot aim worth shit, frankly, and that is all working in our benefit. I wonder where they are. Yes, there they are. We are not in a lot of danger of getting hit by them, because as you can say, yes, their aim is not of the best of their class. So what can we find around here? Let's just have a look around. Yes, it seems to be some sort of level crossing. I'm positive that you'll agree with me on this point. But yes, let's go and press this and carry on through the grates to the next level. And after something of a harrowing journey, we find ourselves in the next portion of the level, which is the train yard. So let's just see what we have here. Yes, another guy decapitated. Is that a word? Something like that. So let's dispatch these lot swiftly, as we always do. And we have ourselves, yes, another little puzzle section in the game, if you can indeed call that. I feel like the puzzle sections in this game are less defined by actual puzzles, moreover, than they are ways to get you to slow down for a moment to figure out what was the intended design document for that level and what the developers actually intended you to do. Such is the case of all games. It's less about flow and you know, incredible level design than it was just throwing up incredible obstacles in your way. So we press this lever and that picks up one of the container shipments here, and we'll just watch this occur for a little bit. Exciting as it is, watching the primitives of the level be transported around in a fairly nondescript fashion. Jump down here. Ow, that hurt. Yes, and enjoy this. A container shipment being rotated in and around the level. The geometry clipping through the mesh there. What? Oh, no, it's not fun. I thought that was the end, but no, it had to go through its final rotation. And what you may not realise at this point is that the intended direction of travel here is to, well, you can go in here, snag some goodies first, which we, of course, will be doing, even though we don't really need all this armour so badly at this point. But beggars can't be choosers. And yes, the idea is to jump across here, like this, or something like that, and then come through here. And this is the way forward through the remainder of the level. And we find ourselves in the titular train yard with plenty of guys to shoot. See a guy there, I'm going to shoot him, and we will position ourselves in a tactical manner so we can trick them as they run the wrong way down there. The AI there being foxed by our incredible tactics of hiding in a corner, except for that one, he has got our number. But he in fact now has our bullets embedded in his person. And how do we get through the train yard, you might be wondering? Well, that is another good question. The obvious answer is, of course, to jump on this ladder. And yes, jump over and above and onto these other train carts like this. And again, you know, the average player, are you going to work this out your first try? I would probably venture a guess at not, but you know, there we go. This is what you get when you play 10-15-year-old games. Poor non-flowing level design, but you know, this is, no one's forcing me to play this game, you know, no one's got me tied up. If we just go back here, yes, that was the point where we entered the level there, so we're just done a little loop there. Never mind, to see if we can find any more bad guys around who are going to try and cause us aggravation. We seem to be good at this point, so let's spend a little bit of time jumping on and boxes to try and retrieve the goodies that are stashed around the level. Okay, so after a bit of an arduous journey with our new best friend Destructible Box, we find we can now jump on here. And what little goodies have we got for us here? Some grenade rounds that we don't need, some more grenade rounds that we don't need. Well, I'm sure glad that I went through the effort of trying to collect those, but ultimately being able to. And what am I confronted with before or after or during the period in which I open the door? Yes, several guys shoot me in the face. Well, that is just fatally uncharitable behaviour, as is trying to blow me up with a couple of grenades. And then sort of running in to, I don't know, engage me in close quarters. I just feel like that was a poor choice on your part, my friend, as was the trying to kill me with guns, because frankly, I am the best gunman who has ever lived in this game, or who has continued to live for any reasonable amount of time. So, what do we have here? A button to press. Everyone knows buttons open doors, but that is a new part of the level, and I'm afraid we're going to have to wait till next time to see that as the door closes. So I'll thank you again for joining me on this harrowing journey through Kingpin, or the Let's Play of Kingpin, and I will see you next time in that Let's Play. Goodbye.
Always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that whistle blowing, I hang my head and cry.